Hey Pro Nerds, it's Iggy coming to you from the 8th annual Front Range Film Festival in Longmont, Colorado. And I'm hanging out with Sarah Bubke right here. And you are here representing the film
Living the Dream.
Living the Dream. I mean, I say that line like on a daily basis, but I usually use it in a sarcastic way while I'm at work. But, you know, that's a whole nother topic. All right, tell us a little bit about Living the Dream so everybody who's watching knows what we're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. So Living the Dream is a documentary. It's about 25 minutes long, and it follows a 22-year-old named Austin Burr who decided to trick out his car so he can live out of it instead of going the traditional housing route. And he does this so that he can go on adventures on a moment's notice. And so we go into why he does that and really how it affects his family. Okay. And how they, especially his mom, like how does she feel about this super dangerous?
Not very happy.
No.
Right? Okay.
Oh, and the documentary, yeah, my mom was not stoked, is the official quote.
Oh, it's my mom is not stoked. All right. That's also another thing that comes up in my life often. Hi, Mom. Anyways, so Sarah, you said he tricks out his car. Is this like exhibit style? We're going to pimp your ride on MTV? Or did he do it, basically, is it a large enough vehicle that he put a lot in to be able to more easily live in it?
So it's pretty much just an SUV, and he took out the back rows of seating. And he put a platform in and a bed on top of that. And the platform is just for all of his storage and stuff. But there's really not a lot of space for like cooking, and there's no bathroom or anything.
Right.
So.
I know, but we were just talking about camping earlier, and they all want to sleep on the ground. But this experience sounds way better. So I may hit Austin up and borrow his vehicle for that weekend. Just let him know. All right. So Austin seems like an adventure taker. Really likes doing this. How long has he been doing this?
A couple of years now.
Okay.
Originally, he was in Steamboat Springs. He was working up there, and that's where he built his car, and he was living out of it. And then more recently, he moved down here to Denver, which of course totally changes the dynamic and the safety aspect of where can I live out of my car in Denver.
Right. Oh, for sure. Especially with a lot of law changes and everything happening right now too. And then you mentioned adventure. I want to know, so he's in Denver, so he's not like Coast, International, or anything. You say he's ready to go for an adventure on a moment's notice. What are his adventures? What are some of the adventures he's had? Maybe some that you captured in the documentary even.
Yeah, absolutely. So his main passion is downhill longboarding. So he likes to go up to the mountains and go down really steep, windy roads with his friends, and it's wild to watch because it's just crazy dangerous, and there are other cars and stuff. But he also loves hiking and anything with nature. Okay. So over the summer, actually, after we finished the documentary, he and the guys in the documentary, they went on a month-long road trip around the country, and they went to 9 different states and 2 different countries, and just went out in the nature and hiking and took photos and video and all that great stuff.
All right, sounds fantastic. I'm sure the mom's really excited about the downhill longboarding.
Oh my goodness.
What was the quote again for the mom?
Oh, my mom was not stoked.
My mom is not stoked. Probably not about that either. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming he's interviewed. It sounds like the mom's involved too. You mentioned family though. So tell us, what perspective do you get from his family? And I guess like how do you feel that added to the documentary, being it more than just about him, but also that family perspective?
So we really were only able to interview his mom. Okay. But she, of course, was very nervous about everything that he did. And it was great to hear about how he grew up, and he was always a risk taker, and how she tried to curb that and keep him safe. And it was really interesting how she learned to let it go. She's like, okay, I just have to trust my son and let him do what he believes in, and as long as he's safe, he's not hurting anybody, I will support him in anything.
Right. You guys remind me to give my mom a note to watch this documentary about letting it go. Anyways, no. Cool. Well, it sounds like that's really neat. I don't know, do you feel like she had that perspective on it beforehand, or maybe this experience helped her embrace that a little bit more?
I think it helped a little bit, but mostly she came to that conclusion mostly through his downhill longboarding. Mm-hmm. In the documentary, we talk about that, and like, what did you do when he was unsafe? And she talks about a story about going down a really dangerous road, and she talks about how she tried with everything within her to stop him. And that worked well, right?
Right. Yeah, because I'm sure he was just like, okay, Mom.
Yeah.
Right. So is he a Colorado native too? Just to ask.
Yes.
So he has really explored this, but it sounds like you said just a month of exploring last summer and everything like that. I think this is a really cool experience. And I know Carrie, who's been doing some of the other interviews, for those watching, check out those other interviews too, has been giving me a hard time because I hadn't been able to see this yet. But I guess now I know why you are, because I like all this kind of stuff, right? So what is, I feel like you've had to explore some of the danger in this too.
Yes.
Maybe let's start with the danger on the living in the car. You mentioned, you kind of teased at it already, in Denver, in a vehicle living. You know, what kind of comes up when you all are discussing that, or maybe even filming that environment?
So obviously the biggest concern in downtown Denver is just other people, and you never know who will be outside and what they'll want to do. Luckily, Austin's only had one experience of someone trying to get into the car. So we really talked about that one incident, and we kind of made it like a funny little thing in the documentary, but it's a very serious issue.
Yeah.
So when he can, he tries to stay with friends when he's in Denver instead of trying to stay in his car. Well,
I think a big thing too, and we hinted at law change, right? So in Denver, there's been a lot of changes to help the gentrification really move. Is I think what they're calling it, they're removing a lot of the camps, I guess is what I'm saying. Does that impact him in the vehicle too? Like, does he often get stopped or asked questions when he's sleeping in his vehicle, maybe by law enforcement or anything else?
That's an excellent question. So yes, there's a lot going on with the urban camping ban in Denver. So far, he's not been stopped, but it could happen at any moment. Right. And his strategy right now is just to keep his blinds down and be as quiet as possible. I think he did say that a police officer tried contacting him once, and he's just like, stay quiet, make them not know I'm here, and because it is illegal currently.
Right. I mean, and I guess too, not having the house, he can bounce around though if he does get busted or anything like that as well. So does his mom live in the Denver area or anything like that?
Yes.
Okay. I would assume he comes back and stays with her some though. Makes her feel a little bit better.
I think he does his laundry there and showers there sometimes. So.
Thanks, Mom. That's always helpful, right? It's awesome. What made you? So did you meet Austin ahead of time? What makes you say I need to do a movie about this person?
Another good question. My partner on this documentary, his name's Carlton Lauer. We made this for school at the University of Colorado Springs. He's actually really good friends with Austin. So this project was for a documentary class at the university, and about a semester before that, Carlton approached me and said, I want to make this my senior project. This is what I want to do for a living, filming these types of things, filming extreme sports and doing rider profiles. So he wanted to go the route of, let's do a rider profile on Austin, which I thought that sounded great. But then when he mentioned he lives in his car, I'm like, hey.
I got a question.
Hey.
I got a question.
Like, can we try going that route some more? Because I thought that was a better story and we'd reach a wider audience.
It sounds like it for sure. And then the impact of that, I mean, that's so you're making this for school.
Yes.
And the next thing you know, you're showing it at film festivals. Like, what does that make you feel about the project as a whole? Like, a sense of accomplishment or anything like that?
Oh yeah, we're super, super proud. We kind of felt bad for the other students in the class because a lot of them, they weren't film students. They were like business students, and they had the cheap equipment, but we actually worked for the university, so we had access to the good equipment.
The good stuff.
So we took every advantage we could, and I think it really paid off.
So how long did you follow him? Like how long? I know you said this is just under a half hour, right? Or somewhere around there. So how many months, I guess, did it take to make that happen?
We followed him over one semester.
Okay.
It was interesting because the University of Colorado Springs is obviously Colorado Springs, and we filmed this in Denver. So Carlton was up here pretty much every weekend, up in Denver filming, and I came up as much as I could, but a lot of hours went into
passion projects. Take time. Take that time away for sure. Awesome. Well, can you tell us? Is there anything else? I don't know if you're still in school, or if you're done. If there's anything else you're working on, or other projects that you want our Project Nerd followers to know about?
Well, Carlton and I both graduated in May. This was our senior project. Carlton is, I think, looking for work, and he's an amazing cinematographer. If you've seen the documentary, it's a student project, and it's like
back there.
Professional on like every level. He put everything into it. As for me, I'm currently working on a documentary about Telluride, which I'm excited about, and then in a few months, I'm going to go to Germany, and I'm going to be helping on a film set in Switzerland.
That sounds really exciting.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, check out the documentary, obviously. And if you are looking for a cinematographer after you watch it, I heard insane whispered back there, like you thought the microphone wasn't going to pick it up or anything like that. And obviously, you complimented him as well. Well, perfect. Obviously, we can see it here at Longmont, at the Front Range Film Festival. By the time this interview airs, it's going to be hard for our fans to catch it here. So, where else can we see it? Is there anything online, or are y'all still kind of figuring that out and everything?
Well, actually, next week we're in another festival down in Colorado Springs. Okay. We are in the Short Circuit Film Festival, and we also have it on YouTube currently.
Oh, perfect. So, head on over to YouTube. We'll drop the link in the interview, of course, as well. Anything else you want to let our fans know before we wrap this up and get back to watching movies?
Watch the documentary, and thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, Sarah, we appreciate it greatly. Everybody else, go check out this incredible documentary. I will definitely be checking out as soon as we're done here. But for everything else, stay tuned to Project Nerd for more coverage at the Front Range Film Festival here in Longmont, Colorado.